I have talked about the cardinal rules, the 11 rules you must follow in your relationships with women that minimize drama, maximize attraction, and minimize the typical demands that you get from women in relationships. What happens if you don't follow the cardinal rules? I will tell you right now. I am Caleb Jones. This is Alpha Male 2.0. I make a high location independent income while dating multiple attractive women, and I teach men like you how to do the same thing. And a core aspect of Alpha Male 2.0 is long-term, non-monogamous relationships with 2 or more women for the long term for the rest of your life. These can be FBs, which are casual, MLTRs, women you're dating, or an OLTR, a woman you're in a serious relationship with, girlfriend or wife. And among all of those relationship types, we have the cardinal rules. These are the 11 rules that you must follow in order to maintain these long-term, happy, low drama, low demands, non-monogamous relationships where the woman knows you're having sex with other women but continues to date you anyway. In some ways, this video is a part 2 to the original video I did where I covered all the cardinal rules and why they work. If you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say cardinal rules, you should click that video right now, go watch that video, and then you can come back to this video. I will review the cardinal rules in this video, but I'm only going to talk about what happens if you don't follow them. If you want to know exactly the mechanics behind them and why they work, you should go watch that video. Okay. Listed in no particular order because they are all important. The first cardinal rule is only see her once a week. This is for FBs and MLTRs. What happens if you violate this rule? Well, she will start assuming, regardless of what you've said, regardless of the guy logic that's been coming out of your mouth, that's not how women work in relationships, she will start to assume that you are venturing into boyfriend territory. If you see her 2 times a week or more, and many guys see women 5 times a week, 6 times a week, sometimes, God forbid, every day, she's going to assume, rightly or wrongly, regardless of what you said, regardless of your other behaviors, that you are moving into boyfriend territory, which means she's going to start expecting boyfriend behaviors. Things like monogamy, exclusivity, texting her all the time, going to meet her friends, going to meet her family. She's going to start demanding or at a minimum expecting these behaviors. And when you don't do them, because she's just an FB or MLTR, you're going to have drama. So to avoid that, you see her once a week. The more often you see a woman, the less attracted she is to you. When you see her once a week, attraction sustains at a very high level. When you see her all the goddamn time, attraction starts to drop, at least eventually, and you don't want that because lack of attraction means more drama and more demands, what I call the double Ds, drama and demands. You don't want those, so you see her once a week. Cardinal rule number 2, do not initiate contact often. What happens if you violate this rule? If you contact her all the goddamn time, if you're texting her every day or DMing her every day, or God forbid, and I've talked to guys who do this, call her every day, she's going to start expecting, 2 things are going to happen. 1, she's going to start expecting you to continue to do that. So when you don't text her one day, she'll say, hey, why didn't you text me? What's the problem? Whereas if you only contact her once or twice a week, she would never react that way because you're only contacting her once or twice a week. If you don't contact her, she's going to immediately get agitated and go, why isn't he contacting me? Something's wrong. He always contacts me. You don't want to establish that precedent, number 1. Number 2, you're going to reduce attraction. It's going to be now more boring for her to hang out with you because she's talking to you all the goddamn time. Again, just like see her once a week, you want to maintain attraction. So you damage that by texting her, calling her, DMing her, whatever, contacting her all the goddamn time. Throughout most of the relationships I've had with women over the past 15 years of my life, as an Alpha Male 2.0, the only time I contact them is when I want to schedule the next meet with them. And that is literal for the vast majority of women I've dated as both FBs and MLTRs. That's about once a week or less. And I'm being literal about this. Rarely is there an exception to that rule. Cardinal rule number 3, make sure she orgasms every time you have sex. That means you need to take the time and effort to do that because with some women, it may take a while and that's just the way it goes. What happens if you don't do that? Well, that's easy because most men don't do this. Most men, the vast majority of men in dating relationships, hop on a woman, they go pump, pump, pumpity pump, they roll off and that's it. The woman's like, yeah. So, and women will tell you all about this if you don't believe it. What happens if you don't do this? Well, it's obvious. She will not be excited about having sex with you. Number 1. Number 2, she will demand monogamy and exclusivity faster and sooner and more hardcore. And I have tested this. I've seen this with other guys. When you don't give a woman orgasms, she gets more pissed off about you possibly having sex with other women. When you're giving her orgasms every time you have sex, even if she knows you're seeing other women, and even if that pisses her off, her attitude in her brain is, I wish you would stop seeing other girls. That really pisses me off. I shouldn't see him anymore. But a little voice in the back of her head goes, but he makes me come. Damn it. And no one else makes me come because no other guy makes her come. Guess what? All good news for you. Something else that will happen to you if you don't do this, when she breaks up with you, the odds of you ever seeing her again drop to almost zero. Whereas I have a 94% return rate. And a lot of alpha male 2.0s do. They have very high return rates because why? Women know if I go back to Joe, he's gonna make me feel really good. Unlike my current stupid beta male boyfriend who never does that or only does it when I make him do it, which is very unattractive for women. By the way, if you want more detail on all these techniques and how to maintain long-term, low-drama, non-monogamous relationships with a normal everyday woman in most cultures around the world, you should go to haveopenrelationships.com. That's where you get my book, The Ultimate Open Relationships Manual. It's a step-by-step manual on how to do this. It's very well field tested over the past 15 years. It will change your life. I suggest you take a look. Cardinal rule number 4, don't lie. What if you violate this rule? Well, you probably already know because you probably already lied to women you've had in relationships. Haven't you? That's what men do. Men learn very quickly that, if I just lie to women, I get away with all kinds of shit. Wrong. Here's what I've said many times in the past. When you lie to a woman in a sexual or romantic context, you don't avoid drama because that's what men seem to think. If I lie to her, she won't get mad at me. Wrong. You don't avoid drama when you lie to a woman. You just expand it and push it out into the future. So when you lie to a woman, you haven't dodged drama. You've taken the drama that on a scale of 1 to 10 might have been a 6, and you've made it into a 9 and you've shoved it 4 months out. That's all you've done. So when 4 months hits, now you have a volcanic explosion of drama when she finds out you were lying to her, because she will. Men are terrible at maintaining lies in relationships. They're awful at this. Women are actually much better at it. So when she finds out, you're in for all kinds of fucking drama. And the goal here is to never have drama in your relationships, or at least have drama at a bare minimum. And when you have drama, keep it at, on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe a 2 or a 3 or less. And you violate that by lying to women. As I have said many times, the truest alpha males in the world never need to lie to women. That's what beta males need to do. Did you fuck another girl? No. That's a beta. The real alpha male, the true alpha male says, yes, I did. If that's a deal breaker, I understand, but I'm going to do that. That's alpha. Alpha males don't need to lie. That's what beta males or pussy whipped alpha male 1.0s do. Cardinal rule number 5, never discuss the parameters of the relationship. Do not discuss what the relationship is. Well, what is this to you? Well, what am I to you? So where do you think this is going? Don't answer those questions. The only time you answer those questions is when you get to the talk, which is phase 3 in the relationship. That is a topic for another time. That's the only time you discuss relationship, but all the way up until then, 3 to 5 months or more, you do not discuss a relationship. What happens if you do discuss a relationship? What's going to happen is you're going to get monogamous. And you're going to end up saying, okay, fine, I won't hook up with other girls anymore. And now you're fucked. Either she owns your balls because you can only have sex with her, not good, or you're going to cheat on her. You're going to make the promise and then cheat. And then, like I said, you're going to get caught. You don't even get to that scenario. You don't even talk about the relationship, even though she wants to, until a time of your choosing based on the phases model I talk about in my Alpha 2.0 content. Cardinal rule number 6, never engage in boyfriend behaviors. A boyfriend behavior is something only a boyfriend would do. So if you spend the night with a woman, is that something only a boyfriend would do? No. There are other men she spent the night with who are not her boyfriend, so that would be acceptable for an MLTR, for example. Not an FB, but for an MLTR, it'd be okay. How about going out to a really fancy date? You rent a limousine, you go to a fancy dinner, you buy her flowers and chocolates. That's a boyfriend behavior. That's something only a boyfriend would do. What happens if you violate that rule? She will start expecting you to be a boyfriend. And guess what boyfriends don't do? Have sex with other women. You're basically dialing up the monogamy exclusivity desires in her brain to 10 when you do any boyfriend behavior. So it is your job to avoid any and all boyfriend behaviors until she becomes your OLTR, which is a girlfriend. I have an OLTR. I'm married. So Pink Firefly, my OLTR wife, I can engage in boyfriend behaviors with her because she is my girlfriend, actually my wife. So that's okay. But with an FB or MLTR, no boyfriend behaviors ever for any reason until you upgrade her to OLTR, and the vast majority of women you ever have sex with will never get to that point. By the way, before I go on, there's something you should do. You should subscribe to this channel, put a like on this video, click the dumb notification bell, and leave a comment on this video. Doesn't matter what you say. The more algorithm-friendly interactivity I get on this content, the more of this content I will provide for you for free, so you're just helping yourself. Cardinal rule number 7, my favorite one, always be having sex with other women. Why is this a rule? Why do you need to do this? Well, here's what happens if you don't do this. Women are highly intuitive, far more intuitive than we men. I don't care how intuitive you think you are as a guy. The average woman is far more intuitive than you are. She knows things about you. She can smell things on you. And when you don't have sex with anyone else, she will know. Let me say that again. When you're dating a woman and you're only having sex with her, even though you have not made any commitments whatsoever, even if you say, oh yeah, I can fuck other women ever I want because we've agreed to that, and you're actually not, she will know. In a matter of weeks or less, she will know that she is the only one giving you sex. And guess what that does to her attraction? Do you think that makes her more attracted to you or less? Less. What do you think that does to her level of demands and her level of expectations for you as a person she's dating? You think her expectations drop, or you think they start ratcheting up to boyfriend levels? They start ratcheting up. It is extraordinarily dangerous to become what I call de facto monogamous. De facto monogamous means that you are dating a woman or have an FB. You have never made any commitments to her. You've never had any talks about the relationship. You've never even hinted that you're exclusive. So she's not your girlfriend, but you are only having sex with her because you're lazy or complacent or busy with work or any other beta male bullshit excuse you give yourself. This is extraordinarily dangerous. She's going to start to smell that on you, and the betaization behaviors will increase, as will the drama and demands. Cardinal rule number 8, no trips with women. The only exception to this would be with an OLTR. That's okay. Even then, you need to be careful. And maybe a high-end MLTR. That'd be your favorite MLTR you've had for a very, very long time with a very long track record of zero drama. And even then, the trip is like a 2 or 3 day quick weekend. You don't take her somewhere for a week. No trips. What happens if you violate this? Oh, I will tell you what happens. This is an easy one. And I've had many men go through this. I've literally said this and have men literally experience this. If you go on a trip with a woman who is not an OLTR, by the time you hit day 3 or 4, you will get drama like you've never seen in your life from her. Even if she's never given you drama in your entire life. If you take her on a long trip, a week-long trip, by day 3 or 4, and you don't believe me, track this, by day 3 or 4, she's gonna unload all kinds of drama on your ass because she knows you can't go anywhere. You're stuck in a distant city in the same hotel room, and she knows subconsciously you can't leave. Under normal conditions, you can get up and leave. But you're on a trip together, how do you do that? It's much more difficult, and she knows this. On top of this, big, fancy, long trips are a boyfriend behavior. You're going to increase betaization behaviors and demands and drama. Do not make this error. I've seen a lot of guys make this error. You don't want to be one of them. Cardinal rule number 9, do not meet her family, and in most cases, do not meet her friends. What happens if you violate this? Very simple. This is a boyfriend behavior, okay? A guy who meets her mom or her brother to get her approval from her family members, dude, that's boyfriend shit. You don't want to do that at all. She may suggest it, you're busy, or flat out tell you don't want to do it. Very, very, very risky. That is stuff once you are an OLTR. Once you're an OLTR, then you can do whatever you like with that stuff. Here's something from my history. I kept Pink Firefly a complete secret from my entire family and all of my friends for years, with the exception of my daughter. And the only reason she knew about it is because she lived with me at the time. That's it. So no one knew about Pink Firefly for years. And I did not introduce Pink Firefly to anyone in my family or anyone in my life except my daughter, because I lived with her. There was no choice. Until Pink Firefly and I were not only OLTRs, but actually like seriously committed, like going to get engaged and move in together. That's how you want to do this. Cardinal rule number 10, and this only applies to FBs. Okay, so MLTRs, this does not apply. FBs, do not go on dates with FBs. Do not do that. What happens if you violate that rule? The FB will become confused, and she will start to think that you are dating. So what'll happen is, and I've seen many guys make this mistake, they'll have an FB, they'll go out to dinner, they'll go see a movie, and then they'll get a bunch of drama because then they go right back to treating her like an FB. She's an FB or an MLTR. She can't be both. She has to stay in one box or the other. Now you can, I've talked about this, if you really like a long-term FB, you could upgrade her to MLTR. I've done that myself several times. But if you haven't done that, no going out on dates. You go to her house or she comes to your house, you hang out and talk for a little bit, you have sex, maybe you talk a little more, and then she leaves. FBs is not someone you're dating. And if you do start taking her out on dates while still maintaining her in the FB box, you're going to confuse her and hurt her feelings and cause drama, and it'll be 100% on you and it'll be your fault. It is very shitty to be incongruent with women. Some guys will say, well, I'll hurt her feelings if I don't take her out. No, you will hurt her feelings more if you take her out while still treating her and viewing her as nothing but a fuck buddy. That's what'll hurt her feelings. Final cardinal rule, number 11, and this is only for FBs. Do not let FBs spend the night. And I'll say this again, guys say, well, that seems really mean. No, you know what's mean? Letting her spend the night, which is a behavior for someone you're dating, not just a friend you are fucking, which is what FB means. And then the next day you go right back to treating her like an FB. She's gonna be totally confused and you're gonna hurt her fucking feelings. Do not spend the night, my God, with FBs. That is for MLTRs and OLTRs. I don't care, by the way, what excuse you have. Well, Caleb, she was over here until 2 o'clock in the morning and the train stopped running. Whose fucking fault is that? Yours. That's called managing logistics, you dumb fuck. Pay attention and be organized. For some reason, I have never had a logistical problem gently kicking an FB out of my home. Do it nicely. Be nice about it. You can even state as soon as she walks the door. You can say, hey, just so you know, I only have about 2 hours because I got to get to work or I got to wake up tomorrow early or whatever. Again, don't lie, make it real, but whatever. I have never had a problem with this. I have had FBs for 15 years straight. I've never had a problem with not letting them spend the night. And as I said, if you really like an FB and you want to start spending the night with her, great. Upgrade her to MLTR, and now you can go out on dates, and now you can spend the night and do all those fun things. Wonderful. But as long as she's in the FB box, no spending the night. If you want more detail on the cardinal rules, watch this video right here. I'll go into great detail about them. I'll see you in that video. Bye.